guys, I'm super excited to show you this video of my sister and I's time in Guatemala. We first came to La Ciudad de Guatemala, which is the capital. That's where our grandma is, and it was super sweet to see all these cute little family pictures of us when we were so tiny. So yeah, we were here for a couple days, and then we went to Antigua, Guatemala, which is not too far from where we were, I believe. And this restaurant was gorgeous. It's Via Boque, I believe that's how you say it. And it was super, super pretty. And we got to walk around after we ordered. So like you walk the premises, and then once you come back, your drinks are there, and then your food comes out. So it's just like super, super nice atmosphere. This restroom is insanely cute. This is wildly beautiful. No. I feel like I look so awkward. No, it's cute, it's cute. Here's the dessert, and my uncle fixing it because he's so kind. And we decided to get an Airbnb to stay the night in Antigua. And so I found this place, and it was so beautiful. Like, I just was obsessed with the landscape of it. And over here you get to see the rooftop area, and luckily, like, the weather wasn't too bad, but still it was covering up the volcano that you could see if there were no clouds. But anyways, yeah, so here's the bedroom, one of them at least. And then after we did this little tour, we ended up getting our hair done. See? Oh my god. We got multiple braids and a little necklace. Yeah. So we took a rest day when we came back from Antigua, and then the next day, that's when we came here to the University of Francisco Marroquin. And there's two museums, and the one that we're entering right now, that one is going to be all about the Mayan culture and how they, basically made history here in Guatemala. And it's super interesting to see the entire Guatemala portion of the map filled with Mayans, and then El Salvador has none, and it bleeds a little bit into Honduras and Mexico, but that's like its own history. And over here my grandma's calling me. Oh, y de moler es And here are some found statues. So the one that I'm right in front of, that one, the eyes are weird because on one side it's dead and on the other one it's alive, kind of representing us. And over here are books that they made from tree bark, and in them they had omens and calendars with predictions on them. And then those little statues are believed to be aliens. El Museo Ixchel de Traje Indígena, it was basically just showing you the history of women making garments in Guatemala, and how amazing that it was 117 different huipiles, which are garments. And they're grouped according to the language spoken in the different counties, which you could see up above. And there are some styles that are on the verge of disappearing because there's very few active weavers. After the museum, we took a 6-hour car drive and landed in Panajachel. We stayed the night, and then the next day, which is this day, we made a plan to ride across Lake Atitlan, which is Guatemala's most famous lake. And it was also nominated to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. We were taking that private boat and head to San Juan La Laguna, which are one of the 11 towns that surround the lake. And there's also 3 volcanoes near it too. We got to do a really cool tour here, and this was their first stop, which is where they showed us how they make their, garments, their dresses from scratch. And we even got to try it ourselves. It was so hard. I don't know how they do it. Then over here was where they showed us how they made chocolate. And Guatemala is actually like where chocolate is basically originated from, because you could see what she's holding there is the cocoa flour, the cocoa bean, you know? And so over here, she shows us how she makes it, like by grinding it up, and then all they have to add is sugar. And we got to try that too, and it was delicious. Here we're stopping at El Muele, which is really popular among tourists because it overlooks Lake Petén Itzá, and people could also take pictures at the butterfly wings. This is the third largest lake in Guatemala, I believe, and it was super fun to have a bite here before our road to Tikal, and we got to learn a little bit more of the history from our tour guide, who was super passionate about the history and how the Mayans made the pyramids, how they started to do architecture, math, and agriculture just themselves. So this is the National Park of Tikal, and we're gonna see the pyramids, which is honestly what I was most excited for. And there's my family. Here he's explaining that this model is based off of archaeologists' first phase of research of what the city of Tikal could have looked like in 950 AC after Christ, or what is our current era. And then he goes on to describe how the jungle has covered it all and only 20% of it is restored. And that's what he's about to say right here.
Tenemos restaurado solo el 20%.
Saw these anteaters, and look at these little monkeys. And we walked so much, and we saw this pyramid, and it has like that like runny slope because when it rained they wanted the slope to go into like a bask of water so that they could collect it. And then here he's super happy showing us the peppermint that still grows there.
Oh, it's like
Tiene un 50% restaurado. Clave 1, resulta que cuando vienen los arqueólogos por primera vez, algunos de esos arqueólogos ya habían estado en las pirámides de Egipto. Entonces Discovery Channel viene y hace los estudios.
He's mentioning here that the Discovery Channel went and did research, and they found that the sound traveled and bounced back, and so the claps resulted in sounding similar to the Guatemala's Quetzal, and you could only hear it when you're close to the pyramid, not outside. So as we walked more in, we got to see where they stayed, which was that ruin right there. And then on the right is a temple that wasn't the tallest, but still important. It is so hot. I'm sweating so much. But this is the first one we came across. And apparently it's not the biggest one. And then there's this other ruin too. And I just want to sit down, but obviously you can't sit down on these things. Oh my God. Look at this. This is crazy. And they were super smart to have to do all of this, obviously. And there's like beliefs that aliens help them out too, which is super cool. And they're really into astronomy, and they created math. And there's different zones. And all of these, like there's multiples that have the same height and the same width, which is really crazy to think about. And they're called twins. Hi, Keith. We've been walking, and I walked those two. It's the highest. Oh shit! I almost fell. It's the highest pyramid. She's taking it like a champ. I'm trying desperately. We made it. Look at this. Insane. And that's just stuff that they haven't even discovered yet. Nobody wanted to climb another pyramid, but I really wanted to make the best of this trip. So I was huffing and puffing up the second pyramid. And luckily my cousin, I think he felt bad, so he did it with me. But after this, we ended up going to Lake Petén. And there was this really nice restaurant that we ate at. And then we started walking around the city. And it was just kind of bittersweet because I knew, you know, after we got back, it was going to be our last day, or our last night. And yeah, just tried to soak this in as much as possible. And it was like the most beautiful experience ever. And shout out to all my Guatemaltecos. And I just loved everybody there, was so kind. And I love the food, the culture, obviously the history, and I would definitely be back.